Coming up on the September 10th edition of Carolina Week. It's been 2 years since UNC student Faith Hedgepeth's murder, but police just unsealed the case. Why did it take so long? We have the latest.
Police carry all kinds of things: handcuffs, guns, and now cameras. We have the scoop about Chapel Hill's and Carborough's newest equipment. And what's so special about these images that Carolina students unearthed in Israel? All that and more. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the UNC School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering Carolina in HD, this is Carolina Week.
The Chapel Hill community comes together to mark the second anniversary of Faith Hedgepeth's death with the Justice for Faith March. Good evening, I'm Mary Alice McMillan.
And I'm Anissa Jabbar. Police have released new details from their investigation in an attempt to find a possible break in the case. We start with the march, which took place on campus at noon Monday. For a few moments in the student union, Hedgepeth's family joined Chancellor Carol Folt, former student body president Christy Lambden, and dozens of students for a moment of silence. A member of Alpha Phi Omega sorority, Shannon Ross, fought back tears as she spoke of the legacy Faith left behind. The ceremony concluded with everyone in the room holding up signs that read "Justice for Faith." It's been 2 years since Hedgepeth's death, but it was just last week that Chapel Hill police unsealed the case file. I sat down with them to talk about their continuing efforts to find justice for Faith.
Bedroom on September 7th, 2012. Police said the biology major had spent the previous night at Davis Library on campus before going to The Thrill, a Chapel Hill nightclub, with her roommate. She was last seen at her apartment about 4:30 a.m. The 911 call came in at 11 a.m.
You say your friend is unconscious?
She's unconscious. I just walked in the apartment and there looks like there's blood everywhere.
Okay, listen to...
Faith's mom, Connie Hedgepeth, is still left without answers.
Not being there and not knowing all the things that she went through.
The autopsy reveals that someone had beaten her to death, indicating blunt force trauma to her head. Investigators found semen on her, but police wouldn't say whether she had been sexually assaulted or had consensual sex before she was killed. On the bed, her killer left behind a fast food takeout bag with "I'm not stupid!" expletive, "jealous," scribbled on it. As new information comes to light, Connie doesn't think it will change anything.
To me, my biggest question is, why?
Why has it taken police 2 years to release important details? Why, after 2 years, has there been no arrest? No matter the outcome, it doesn't take the pain away.
It doesn't take away missing her, loving her, wanting to see her.
Police are offering a $40,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of Faith Hedgepeth's killer.
We might know if a cop was justified when he shot Michael Brown 6 times in Ferguson, Missouri, if the event had been caught on camera. That's why 2 local police departments are considering having their officers wear body cams. Elizabeth Tew reports.
Questions surrounding an incident earlier this year when Carborough police handcuffed a UNC student and forced him to the ground might have been answered if officers were wearing one small device: body cameras.
Y'all gonna walk away from me?
The cameras, which attach to officers' uniforms, can offer visual evidence in encounters between police and the public. And calls for police body cameras have grown after the fatal shooting in Ferguson, Missouri last month. But do Chapel Hill and Carborough's police departments have any plans to use them? I spoke with Sergeant Brian Walker of the Chapel Hill Police Department, who says is an option the department is exploring.
But the advantage of that body-worn camera allows us to see more of what the officer saw.
And in Carborough, Captain Cornell Lamb says body cameras will offer many advantages to the department.
The body camera will allow the whole story to be told and not just one-sided. You get the whole version of both the officer's account and the complainant's account.
Currently, police cars in both departments are equipped with dash cameras that record all encounters with the public. The video can be reviewed if any questions arise about an officer's conduct. Although there are some privacy concerns surrounding the use of them, Walker says the cameras are justified.
So it's important to us that our officers conduct themselves in a professional manner, and this allows us to ensure and to demonstrate to the citizens of Chapel Hill that they do.
Officers hope that in the long run, the cameras will provide more transparency. I'm Elizabeth Tew reporting.
Both Chapel Hill and Carrboro Police Departments are currently testing different types of body cameras. The final price tag depends on which camera model the departments decide to use.
UNC is one of only 2 public universities in the country that meet full need-based aid for students. But after officials approved a new policy last month, Carolina might not be in that category anymore. Susanna Black joins us live from our satellite studio.
That's right, Anissa. 42% of students at UNC receive some type of financial aid. But with this new change in policy, some fear piling up a ton of debt they can't afford.
Tyler Dennis was a Tar Heel from the start.
My family's always been really big Carolina fans, and I've always watched football and basketball.
That love brought him here, to an opportunity at education he never thought was financially possible.
It means everything. It was the best 3 years of my life so far.
Dennis gets need-based aid, like almost half of undergrads at UNC. The University System's Board of Governors plans to slash need-based aid from 21% of tuition revenue to just 15%. Members say the aid helps drive tuition increases. They say they want to ease this financial burden middle-class students are shouldering.
Now, 6% doesn't seem like a lot, so let's think about it this way. The average student's debt will nearly double, going from $17,000 in loans to nearly $30,000.
Dennis says if this decision stands, he'll be facing a big challenge.
I'm working 2 jobs now, so I'd probably just have to work more and save more over the summer so I can deal with the higher costs.
Student body president Andrew Powell says the cuts are serious, but he's sure the university can find a solution.
We, for a long time, have been committed to making sure that Carolina is a place that any student from any background can afford to come here. And I've been very encouraged in conversations with the chancellor and really everyone in the administration, the board of trustees as well, that that's a commitment that we're not going to falter on.
Dennis says regardless of the outcome, he'll finish his 4 years at Carolina.
It wouldn't change me coming here, but it would definitely be a big hit.
Now, Chancellor Folt says the administration is looking to other revenue sources to supplement aid during this time. We tried to get an interview with 2 officials from the Financial Aid Office, but they both declined, with one saying this is not a story. Anissa?
That's an odd comment. Susanna Black, live in our satellite studio. Thanks.
UNC ranks number 5 on the list of the country's top public universities for the 14th year in a row. Alexis Simmons joins us live in the studio to take a look at the U.S. News and World Report numbers.
Number 5 in the country is definitely nothing to scoff at, but who are we kidding? We want to be number 1. The report looks at factors such as tuition, retention and graduation rates, and also the average total enrollment in classroom sizes to create the rankings. According to the rankings, things like the university's $8,374 in-state tuition and 26.7% fall acceptance rate helped UNC earn its top 5 spot. Other factors include a 97% freshman retention rate and a 90% 6-year graduation rate. Here's the list of the top 5 schools, public schools actually. Number 1, the University of California at Berkeley. The University of California at Los Angeles tied with the University of Virginia at number 2. 4th is the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor. And of course, UNC Chapel Hill, again, number 5 for the 14th year in a row. UNC placed 30th on the list of the National University Rankings, which takes both public and private schools into consideration. And as for that school down the road, Duke came in at number 8. Back to you, Mary Alice.
Alexis Simmons live in the studio. Thanks, Alexis. You might have heard this story. She goes to Duke University and she couldn't afford the tuition, So she began to work in the adult entertainment industry to pay for her classes. On Tuesday, adult film star Belle Knox came to UNC to talk about solutions to the rising cost of higher education. Young Americans for Liberty, a libertarian group on campus, hosted the event. More than 100 students came out to the student union to listen to Knox. She says she believes one solution to the rising cost of higher education is to decrease the demand for college, and she encourages people to find other options. Knox is now able to pay for her tuition, and although she's happy about finding a way to fulfill her dream of attending Duke, she says if she could do it all again, she'd find another way.
Lights, camera, and no action.
The North Carolina film industry is facing some major cutbacks. We have that story next.
Be sure to check out Carolina Week online at carolinaweek.org. Connect with us online by liking the Carolina Week Facebook page and following us on Twitter at Carolina Week UNC.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Last week, we showed you hundreds of students stranded in hotels while waiting for a new student apartment complex, Lux, to finish construction. Now they're moving in, but it's not as luxe as they were expecting. This lobby Friday with the first residents of Lux. This comes after weeks of delay. Lux offers study rooms, a fitness center, and an outdoor pool. But the construction isn't done yet. As students filed in, crews continue to toil in the 90-degree heat. On the list of incomplete amenities, outdoor landscaping, 2 remaining buildings, and the sand volleyball court. Students whose rooms aren't ready yet are living on campus while they wait. No word yet about when the remaining buildings will be finished.
Students were supposed to be paying for night parking on campus by now, but UNC officials have put that plan on hold. Amy Elmers tells us why.
Young Cho is a junior and she commutes. She's confused when it comes to the university's night parking system.
I wasn't sure which parking spaces were going to be allowed, and so I wasn't sure if parking would be limited, but I was just very frustrated.
Frustrated because last year the university announced a night parking permit program for UNC students and employees. This year the university canceled the program. Next year we could see it again. Every student was charged a $10.40 fee to help cover the cost of parking deck construction.
But when I went to go buy my parking pass from the DPS website, it had said that it was free. I actually had no idea at all that in the end I did end up paying for it.
Vice Chancellor for Finance and Administration, Matt Fajak.
With all the questions, we thought we needed to just pull it off the table and make sure all of we have everything in the right place.
Students got out of paying this year and got their money back, but next year they might not be so lucky. A new parking committee will form to look into night parking solutions. Cho isn't optimistic.
I just don't see the point in it.
The point, officials say, is to create a better long-term parking solution at UNC. In Chapel Hill, I'm Amy Elmers reporting.
Parking rules on campus remain the same as last year. If you are unsure of where to park at night, visit the campus safety website and look under parking.
When was the last time you were allowed to take anything and everything you wanted? One event in Carborough is designed to let you do just that. It's called the Really, Really Free Market, and it's for people of all walks of life. You can take anything, as much as you'd like, fresh fruits and vegetables, free clothing, anything you can find. And you might even find some new friends. The Really Really Free Market is held at Carborough Town Commons the first Saturday of each month at 2 p.m.
It could have been a lot worse for supporters of the North Carolina Film Incentive Program. Some Republicans in the General Assembly wanted to scrap the $250 million program altogether. Eventually, the governor signed a slimmed-down version of the program, which will provide a $10 million grant to the film industry this January. Kara Lyle has the story.
Have you seen this? How about this? Or more recently, this.
Invisible fence.
Iron Man 3, The Hunger Games, and the CBS television show Under the Dome all have one thing in common. They were filmed in North Carolina. But with the recent changes in the state's film incentives program, there's concern far fewer productions will come here. More than 40 productions have filmed in North Carolina so far this year, spanning across 35 counties. Director of the Wilmington Regional Film Commission, Johnny Griffin, says this year alone, film production companies will spend about $300 million in the state.
We've got series that are spending $35 million, $50, $60 million. So all of that money that they are spending will not be here next year because those productions will leave.
Currently, the North Carolina film industry provides more than 4,000 jobs in the Wilmington area alone.
All this has brought in tons of tourism money for North Carolina. They come down, they see Wilmington, and then they want to spend more time here.
Opponents of the program say the state shouldn't provide millions of dollars in incentives to companies such as the film industry that create only part-time or temporary jobs. Thousands of Wilmington area residents disagree. They all came out to Battleship Park recently to take one large group picture to suggest how many people and jobs will be affected by sharp cuts in the film incentives program.
Trust me, there are other states that are watching North Carolina right now and are literally licking their chops.
In Wilmington, I'm Kara Lyle reporting.
The incentive program is good until the end of the year. Come January, the legislature will reconsider the program. Is the cooler weather here to stay?
Or will it buzz away? Drew Day has our forecast next. I was trying to plan that like if you're on camera, we really
Danse, balance la cadence, on revient tes hanches au bal du dimanche. Danse, que la fête commence, dans ma belle robe blanche. Je suis ton chou, ton
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Off your forecast this evening with a look at the visible satellite across the state today. We had plenty of thick cloud cover over the area earlier this morning, but as we head into the afternoon, we started to see a few peaks of sunshine late in the afternoon around 1 o'clock. But then I stepped outside just a few moments ago and we've clouded back up again. So we're now mostly cloudy once again. We started to get a little bit of evaporation from the soil moisture out there, and so we started to cloud back up once that moisture rose up and formed into cloud cover. So we expect that perhaps maybe we'll be mostly cloudy this afternoon. Now we'll back out and take a look at the nationwide picture. We are watching the system to the northwest, this area of low pressure and attendant cold front. And this will be pushing eastward in the coming days and will be affecting our weather for the weekend and bring us some wet and dreary weather here across North Carolina. So let's go ahead and talk about that right now. We're going to break down the next few days so that you know what to expect. A high pressure system is sitting over our area right now. That's giving us quiet weather. We didn't have any rain today. Now as we fast forward to 8 p.m. this evening, that cold front still off to the northwest. It won't get here until Friday, so we won't worry about that for right now. But for the day on Thursday, we expect high pressure to be over the area. No rain tomorrow. High temperatures will be in the mid-80s. Maybe a few areas in the southern part of the state may reach 90 degrees. Now for tomorrow evening, quiet as well. So if you have any evening plans, we don't expect any showers throughout the day on Thursday or into Thursday evening, so that should be fine. The cold front will be just to our northwest, poised to move into the state, and so that by the time we wake up Friday morning, it will have passed and be down to the south over the area, but it'll still be lingering around just enough so that we could see a few showers throughout the day on Friday, and then extended beyond Friday. It looks like this frontal system will hang around, which means that we're going to see some showers throughout the weekend as well. And with this cold front, we'll see some cooler temperatures move in, and so highs will be in the lower 70s. So as we take a look at the potential for the total amount of rainfall, this is for the next 5 days. So this will be through Monday around 8 a.m. We expect perhaps around 2 inches of rain in a few locations to the south. Around here in the Triangle and Chapel Hill, we could see 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches of rain. So this is again a 5-day total. So again, we are looking for an extended period of wet weather. So overnight tonight, we expect temperatures to be in the upper 60s this evening, pretty much summing up in word. It'll be nice out there, so you're going to enjoy it before we hit this dreary period. For tomorrow afternoon, expect high temperatures to make it into the mid-80s with partly cloudy skies. It'll be humid because we didn't get a lot of sunshine out there today. We still have a lot of moisture from the rain earlier this week to evaporate, so it will be humid out there tomorrow, so just be prepared for that. So even though it won't be highs in the 90s tomorrow, it will feel like it, as dew points will be in the lower 70s tomorrow. So by 8 a.m. as you're waking up, temperatures will be in the upper 60s, mid-80s by lunchtime with partly cloudy skies. So we should see finally some sunshine tomorrow, 81 at 8 p.m. And then if you take a look at the 5-day forecast, you'll see that we will see temperatures in the 70s here for the next several days with rain on through Monday.
That sounds really not exactly ideal, Drew. I'm not looking forward to some more rain.
No, we might be spending a lot of time inside here for the next few days.
Well, thanks so much, Drew.
Thanks,
all right,
Drew.
You're welcome.
What if all you had to do to spend some time with UNC legends
was take a particular PR class? Luis Fernandez is next with sports.
I was looking at that. I thought those lines were on.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm Luis Fernandez. The UNC football team has an early off week this season, giving the Heels a great opportunity to work on some fundamental problems. On defense, the Tar Heels have a ball hawk mentality. 9 turnovers in 2 games? That's ridiculous. But what happens when they don't take the ball away? Well, lots of yards on the ground and lots of missed tackles. That has to make Carolina fans nervous about the big boys of the ACC. Then we have the offense. Now that Marquise Williams is solidified at the starting QB, the team has to get in rhythm. Fewer passes behind receivers and more touchdowns like this. Assistant head coach for offense, Seth Luttrell, says a big problem is a lack of explosive plays.
You know, for the first 25 plays, there wasn't one missed or broken tackle. And, you know, for us to have plays and for us to be explosive, we've got to do a better job of that, being physical, getting guys to the second level. And when we are to the second level, which there is a lot of time, we've got to be able to make people miss and break tackles.
Coach Larry Fedora says we'll see sophomore place kicker Nick Weiler in action against ECU, which now has been announced as a 3:30 game on ESPN or ESPNU a week from Saturday. Carolina basketball players come back to Chapel Hill all the time, but speaking to a class, well, that's a little different. I swung by to find out how one teacher managed to snag a couple of legends.
Playing with Kobe. It's the first day of class for these public relations students. They sit down,
listen to the lecture, and start typing. They don't know it yet, but a surprise is waiting for them. That's two-time NBA All-Star and former Carolina basketball player Jerry Stackhouse.
That's a good effort by Swicker. Stackhouse. Oh, America! Are you serious? That is a super. Look at him squatting. Look at him dancing. Jerry Stackhouse.
1 week later, two-time college basketball All-American Antoine Jamison? Why would two Carolina basketball All-Stars come visit a PR class? This man, Livis Freeman.
These guys are my friends, they're my clients, and I've worked with them for all these years. When they found out that I was teaching a class, I didn't even have to ask them to come. They all said, oh, better believe we're gonna be there.
Freeman is the founder of 4R Fans Incorporated, a community and public relations company designed to help athletes create their charitable identities. In his first year as an adjunct, Freeman wants his students to get the real deal, and these guys are as big as it comes. Stackhouse offered some advice looking back at his career.
I wish I would just took some time to enjoy certain stages of it as opposed to always looking for the next thing, the next thing.
Jamison stressed the importance of student athletes staying the course academically.
I think the most important thing is to always have a fallback plan. Get your education, get your degree, just in case it doesn't work out.
Freeman said athletic scandals shouldn't be the only thing his students hear about.
What I really want to see is, an emphasis being placed on these good guys coming back and letting them know that everything they read about these guys isn't negative. I hope this will provide one little spark of cheer.
With a class like this, I doubt students will be calling in sick anytime soon. You could have one guest lecture in a class. Who would it be?
I would probably go with someone funny, maybe Tina Fey.
Oh, or Amy Poehler.
They'd be really entertaining for sure.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Lewis.
Up next, this isn't what they call yellow journalism.
But we do dig up the dirt about a UNC summer trip to Israel.
Every budget, so don't accept defeat. Now you can get covered and still buy me treats.
You take care of your pets. Now it's their turn to take care of you. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn about your health insurance options.
Did you take your medicine? Oh gosh, I forgot it.
Her nurse.
You need a claim number?
Her personal assistant.
Let me just grab a...
Her housekeeper. Her cook. Her accountant. When I started taking care of Mom, I didn't realize the challenge of playing so many roles. But above all, I'm still her daughter.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving to connect with experts and other caregivers. Together we can better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
For UNC students to travel abroad, but what one group of students recently discovered is Israel is unusual, and it has them perplexed as to the artwork's origins. Tyler Rouse reports.
Jody Magnus teaches early Judaism here at UNC. She and students have been digging at Hukok in Israel for the past 4 summers. During season 2 of the dig, they uncovered an ancient mosaic floor in a Jewish synagogue depicting Samson shouldering the wall of Gaza and another showing elephants. It's the elephants that has Magnus wondering.
It might be connected with the story of the Maccabees, who were the Jewish heroes who led the revolt against the Greeks that's celebrated by the modern holiday of Hanukkah. It might be a story depicting a legendary account of the meeting between the Jewish high priest and Alexander the Great.
It remains a mystery right now. Magnus keeps it a family affair as husband Jim is there to take professional photos at each dig. He has his own website and a PowerPoint filled with photos from the past 4 seasons of digs. He says whoever crafted the mosaics had expensive taste.
And they were probably not done by someone local because the artistry is of such high quality.
Magnus hopes that with these recent discoveries, she'll interest students to go on future digs. In Chapel Hill, I'm Tyler Rouse reporting.
That's really cool. That does it for this edition.
Thanks for watching. Good night.